The views, opinions, and wild ramblings expressed on this podcast are strictly those of our hosts and do not reflect the thoughts, values, or overly serious policies of their employers, sponsors, advertisers, or anyone with a legal team. All scenarios we discuss are based on past experiences, most of which we barely survived, and have nothing to do with any of our current jobs or employers. Basically, don't sue us. We're just here for the laughs, not the lawsuits.
Welcome to the Four Friends Trying to Figure Out HR, the podcast where we blend workplace drama, HR nightmares, and a way too much oversharing into one wildly inappropriate package.
Your hosts, they're a real dream team. First, we have Mama Mel, the HR queen with a knack for keeping it real and breaking the rules when nobody's looking.
Heavy on the no one's looking.
Next, we have Dr. Green, the one with all the fancy-ass degrees and the questionable sense of humor.
E equals MC squared.
Such a nerd. I'm the Big Llama. I come for the big laughs, the bigger opinions, and absolutely zero filter, because I don't even know what that word means. And last but not least, we've got Jake from HR. He's not wearing any khakis, and it's questionable if he's even wearing pants, but he is here to ensure that we're breaking HR guidelines just for fun.
I'm always here to judge.
So buckle up, grab your handbook, maybe a cocktail, and join us as we figure out HR one awkward scenario at a time.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of Just Four Friends Trying to Figure Out HR podcast. Today, we're going to talk about whose story is it anyways? How did we get where we are to getting to HR? At home, you're going to guess later on whose story is whose, and you can let us know by going to the YouTube links and all the other links that our good boy Big Llama sent over here. Starting with the first story. The Princess and the Dragon, the shortest tale ever told. In a land far, far away lived a young, carefree, indecisive princess. She was held hostage to the corporate world and their soul-sucking schedules. Along came a messenger from the kingdom of greatness. Don't make me laugh.
Sorry.
Along came a messenger from the kingdom of greatness with a request for a brave warrior to take on the evil dragon named Human Resources. The princess said, not for me, and turned the messenger away. He reluctantly offered her the ultimate prize, a Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. schedule. Her eyes lit up like the sky on 4th of July. Fast forward, she continues to kick ass and take names from the bottom to the top.
Inspiring.
Extremely inspiring. Especially from the kingdom of greatness.
That's the best line, I think. The kingdom of greatness. There's no confidence or ego with this person.
I'm going to use that at work. Next time I'm on a conference call, I'm going to tell the team, welcome to the kingdom of greatness.
Yeah, you would. So my question for this for you guys would be, for this person, who would the messenger be? Who would you think the messenger would be in this story? Do you think you'd see their good old Jake from HR running around going, here's your message? Like, what do you think? Or would he be like Blue's Clues going, you've got mail?
I love me some Blue's Clues.
You just got a letter. Wonder who it's from.
I probably should have said the big llama was the messenger too.
Unlocked all these childhood memories.
I still have Blue's Clues DVDs in this room behind me.
I need proof.
Oh well, I mean, it'll take me a few minutes to fish them out of there. You'd be looking at my ass the whole time, but I'm sorry. For those of you on YouTube, you'll be looking at my ass the whole time.
Might raise the rating.
So
it might.
I guess what we could do is in this story we can tell all the stories, and then we can all go back around and tell like the real, how it happened.
We'll reveal.
Yeah, we'll reveal. Right. There you go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So Mel, I think you are next, Mama Mel.
I'll go next, and I am privileged to read to you, fine listeners, on this evening, The Odyssey of a Person's Resume, a tale of HR mastery and corporate survival. Also, I grew up on Hispanic soap opera, so I'm very dramatic.
Telemundo?
Yes.
Televisión? Univision?
Yes. Univision, yes. Once
Sábado
upon a
Gigante?
time,
Oh, sorry.
yes, love Don Francisco. Come on now.
Hold on, before you start, you know who reminds me of a Chacal? It's Dr.
Who?
Green.
I knew. For some reason, I knew you were going that way.
Do you know who that is?
No.
No, he has no idea.
I have no idea, but I will tell you that your boy, that I can't name out loud, when I was down in the El Paso area, the client that I worked for, he told me that I looked like, and y'all gonna tell me this name because I can never get it right, red-headed boxer, like UFC fighter.
Oh, okay, they lied to you.
Canelo?
Canelo. That's it.
Canelo.
Yeah, it sounded like Canelo, and I was like, I don't know who that is, but and I went and looked him up. I was like, yeah, I look better.
He said I look better.
It's all about the confidence.
Exactly.
That's right, baby.
So
go ahead, read.
To you.
That's right. Put some respect on my name. That's gonna come out every episode.
Every episode.
Go ahead, Mama Mel.
Are we ready to? I need to reel it back in. Are we ready to go?
We are ready.
Okay.
I know what you did there.
Mm-hmm. Once upon a time, in the bustling corporate jungle, there roamed a fearless warrior. Lots of warriors tonight. His weapon, you ask, a finely tuned HR expertise that could tame even the most unruly office drama. Save the drama for your mama. His journey began as a mere mortal in the realm of business, but over the years, he transformed into an HR powerhouse, wielding policies and investigations like Excalibur. This resume tells the story of a man who has seen it all: compliance nightmares, labor relations disputes, and more urgent employee concerns than one should ever have to endure before coffee.
What?
From wrangling investigations in federal contracting to ensuring retail operations didn't turn into a real episode of The Office, them stood firm. As an HR business partner, he advised executives, navigated corporate red tape, and probably spent more time mediating workplace conflicts than actual family holidays. He oversaw operations at two very famous places of employment that we will not name, ensuring that managers actually managed and that employees did more than just discuss weekend plans in the break room. We do not care what you're doing, Becky.
Damn it, Becky.
With an MBA and enough HR experience to fill a legal handbook, they now stand ready for their next conquest. Will it be another corporate kingdom in need of an HR savior? A new frontier where compliance reigns supreme? Where he goes, one thing is certain. Workplace nonsense better beware. The legend continues.
I want to say one thing on this whole entire thing. I need this person to go pick up an English dictionary and learn how to do grammar.
The correction of Mama Mel as she's reading, and then the disgust and like judgment in the them. I'm
So
like,
harsh.
oh, it was harsh. It was harsh.
I apologize. I was trying to figure out in
In real time,
2
what it was saying.
seconds what they were trying to say.
You were reading it like you were in the actual novella. That's okay.
Exactly.
What's a
I wasn't
novella?
playing when I said I grew up on that. You can fake cry at the drop of a hat.
It's a TV show, Dr. Green.
Oh, okay.
It's Passions, Days of Our Lives.
Oh, Days of Our Lives. No, that was the stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
In the
Oh, yeah.
I'm a
early
General
2000s.
Hospital man. General Hospital is my
Yeah.
one.
General Hospital.
Very
Just
dramatic.
like talking about Grey's Anatomy at this point. Might as well just hang it up. Show is not
still on the air.
Yeah, they're still on the air. At least last time I knew they
We're
were.
like on
Look,
season
they went
7,000.
interns to they own the hospital now. They're all owners.
Yes, they're all owners now. Millions of
Like,
dollars, fraud, and insurance, all sorts of stuff.
The gray stands for their hair.
Oh gosh. But I will tell you one thing. Weber in that thing, I thought Weber was old when the whole thing started.
Yeah.
He don't look like he aged a damn day. And I'm just like, dang. Jason usually has a saying for that. Black don't. Anyways, continue on.
Anyway, but yeah, Mama Mel with her as per my last email quote with the them.
Them.
With the
Per
them.
my last email, pick up a dictionary. Thesaurus. I kid.
Okay, let's go to Jake from HR. Let's read the story you're going to read.
All right, I'm going to try to read it like Mama Mel did hers. If I mispronounce something, please don't judge. All right. I graduated from a high school in Alabama.
Alabama.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Okay, we'll get on that one later. This one is called My Journey. Once upon a time in a bustling town, there was a person known for their unparalleled ability to turn any tiny situations into
Unparalleled.
how do you say that? Cosmetic? Unparalleled ability to turn any situations into a comedic masterpiece.
Take it.
Their friends often joked. I know. Okay, home. And see. Okay. Touch me. Okay.
She say touch me?
I said don't judge. I said don't judge me.
I thought you said don't touch me. I said touch me.
Don't touch me either. I don't want you to touch me either. Don't judge or touch me.
This is my
Violation of
don't touch me there.
Violation of a couple HR policies.
Okay. Okay, scene.
Oh.
Big lava.
Once upon a time in a bustling town, there was a person known for their unparalleled abilities to turn any situation into a comedic masterpiece. Their friends often joked that they could find humor in a tax audit. The journey into the world of human resources began in the most unexpected of places, a local comedy club. One faithful evening during open mic night, they took to the stage to showcase their comedic talents. Their routine revolved around absurdities of workplace dynamics, from the master's disappearance
Mysterious
of,
disappearance.
of office supplies to the enigma of the
Perpetually.
thank you, perpetually broken coffee maker. I cannot talk. Little did they know, little did they know, a high-ranking executive was in the audience that night. Amused by their insight into workplace culture and recognizing a knack for understanding human behavior, the executive approached them after the show. Hey, the executive began, your observations about workplace are on spot. Have you ever considered a career in human resources? They chuckled. You mean getting paid to deal with office drama? Sounds like a sitcom waiting to happen. The executive laughed and they replied, exactly. You're in my way, Dr. Green. But in all seriousness, could we use someone with your perspective? What do you say? And so the journey into HR began. Their first order of business, implementing a laughing lunch hour where employees could share their funniest work stories, fostering, I want to say it,
Camaraderie?
camaraderie. I was going to say camaraderie. Camaraderie. I can't say it.
Camaraderie, yeah.
And easing tensions. There was also an introduction into the Golden Stapler Award. Ooh, we went from onions to staplers. For the most organized desk, turning mundane tasks into spirited competitions. The unique approach transformed the workplace. Employee satisfaction soared through the ceiling, and even the most stonic colleagues, is that right? Stonic?
Stoic.
We're going to stoic colleagues couldn't help but crack a smile during the weekly Friday funniest emails, or Friday funniest emails.
You're right.
One day, my nervous new hire approached me and said, I have faced public speaking and survived potluck leftovers. But thanks to you, I've conquered my greatest fear, the dreaded performance review. Grinning, they replied, reminder, in the grand theater of work, we're all just actors trying not to trip over the props. And so, through humor and heart, they became a legend in the world of human resources, providing that sometimes laughter truly is the best workplace policy.
I want you to read at my funeral, please.
No,
I beg of you.
I do terrible reading stuff for the first time. I'm sorry. I am terrible.
That's going to be
at
the
reading
rule,
stuff
too.
for the
You
first
can have never have read it, and it's going to be written by me. And it's going to be so many words that you will not be able to pronounce. It's going to take 30 minutes to get through 2 sentences.
Hey,
Just pull out a thesaurus. That's it.
you know what? I don't get paid for reading. I get paid for speaking without
That's
words.
right, King. Know your worth. That's right.
Okay.
Listen, that I will tell you, that was great, and my apologies if you heard me squealing in the background. Because it was so good.
I was trying not to look at any of you. You know that, like, you know when people get nervous and you can tell they're not. I'm not saying you were nervous, but when people like they get nervous and you know they're nervous, I do not look at them. Or like when a waitress drops plates at a restaurant, I'm like, I look away to the other side, like I didn't hear anything, I didn't see anything, because I don't want attention on the poor girl that just dropped her entire platter of dirty plates. Like I get uncomfortable. I'm like, oh my gosh, look away, look away, look away.
Look away. I'm looking away and I read it.
There's a lot of dishes dropped in that reading.
There's a lot of spilt milk in this process over here.
Oh. We're amongst friends. It's okay.
Yes, we love you no matter what, because it was truly funny. Because yes, he has never read this. He didn't go through it first or anything like that, so he doesn't know what's in there.
Right.
And
right.
same thing for Big Llama, same thing for Mel, same thing for me.
Right.
So,
Okay.
I'm
Good
about
job.
to read
fine.
this. I'm about to
I
read
will-
this passage. I'm really nervous.
I'm gonna go and just get hooked on phonics. Leave me alone.
sight reading words. Is that right?
That's the
Apparently,
wrong type.
I need to read the thesaurus.
Hey, you got that one right, man. I'm proud.
Listen,
Thesaurus.
the extensiveness of your vocabulary, my friend, saves, a little hiccup here and there. He says,
I-
I'm going to think of a really big word that you use with me. And I'm like, instantly Google kerfunkel.
Kerfuffle.
Google-
Oh, kerfuffle. Kerfuffle. I saw
See,
that one.
there you go. There
Judge
you
Judy. I love me some Judge Judy.
go. Kerfuffle. And I was like,
She's hilarious.
so
Okay,
kerfuffle.
so the big llama.
Okay, time for my dramatic read. Let's get close to the microphone here.
Mhm.
Once upon a time, in the land of spreadsheets and surprise employee relations meetings, there lived a man, a decorated veteran of both the U.S. Army and the war of outdated HR policies. His story. I gotta do a voice. His story began in camo. While others were navigating obstacle courses, he was navigating DFAS forms, military dress code regulations,
I
and
think
building
that's
a high
DFAS
level
there,
of
buddy.
pivot tables.
That's DFAS there, buddy.
Hey,
Department of Finance.
DFAS. Hey,
You know better.
you can
Go
kiss
ahead.
my DFAS.
Time to kiss your FAS.
Right, exactly.
Kiss my ass.
I'm going to show you my DD214. All right, here we go. That would look now you done messed it up. Thanks. I was on a roll. That
Mute
would
him.
make you know what? Yes.
Go ahead, buddy. Go.
Okay.
Mute him.
He once ran a performance review session using nothing but a flip chart, MREs, and military position. I put an accent on that bitch. Legend says a new hire cried tears of joy mid PT test, probably because of the vegetarian omelet in chili mac. Oh, that's so gross. After defending the honor of human resources in the Army, he took his talents to the civilian world where he was unappreciated. His resume became a tale of mythical proportions, stretching from nursing homes to startups, and from Texas to LinkedIn. Wherever he went, mysterious things occurred. Employee engagement rose, compliance paperwork filed itself. Okay, maybe not, but close. And somehow, everyone actually read the company policies. Oh, I lost my spot.
You got to go down. It's
Oh.
on page 3.
There you go. Okay, thank you.
Someone wrote a very long essay.
Yes, they did. At one organization, he was known as the fixer. Not because he fixed copiers. No, that was still Larry from IT. But because when chaos loomed, he would descend with a metrics report in one hand and a culture strategy in the other. He once facilitated an entire culture shift over Zoom with a Starbucks pumpkin spice latte in one hand, with a chocolate popsicle for dessert, and he only had minor internet issues. It's mighty white of you. His HR meetings, more inspirational than TED Talks. His employee trainings, half motivational, half stand-up comedy. Why did the recruiter ghost the candidate? Because they felt ghosted by corporate last salary increase approval of 11 cents. Oh, son of a bitch. Why did I read that? I should have saw that coming. You jackholes. Oh my God.
Okay.
We will explain at the end of this. And then there was the time he managed HR for 24 states remotely with nothing but a laptop, deep understanding of labor law, and a voice that could calm even the angriest employee who didn't get approved PTO. Even in academia, he left a mark. His students didn't just learn HR, they lived it. There were rumors that one class project led to the accidental founding of a startup. We'll never confirm or deny. Through military grit, corporate agility, academic wisdom, and a suspicious number of budget spreadsheets, he rose as a master of all things human and resourceful. HR wasn't just his job, it was his battlefield, and he always came out with an offer letter in hand. End of dramatic reading.
Bravo. That was really good. Whoever wrote that, fantastic. Yes, snaps, everybody.
Oh, Jesus.
It's not the writer, it's the reader.
It's
Thank
the
you.
reader. Exactly. So tell us about this thing you said you were going to tell us at the end of this. So what's the thing about the? Can you read that again for the audience?
Okay. So 11 cents. I'm literally going to make a shirt with my face on it that says 11 cents. Okay. A location which will remain nameless. Thought that I was really, really good and loved my work. Said I was a top dog. And the way they rewarded this top dog was with an 11-cent raise.
Hey,
So
everyone else only got 5.
Well,
and some of us got 0. Just saying. And we were the top dog. Just saying.
That's all. That's where the 11 cents come from. I'm gonna forever remember that because it was probably okay. So you know how we talk about ridiculous scenarios, right? You're like, oh, this is crazy. HR. If you're in HR, you probably have a crazy HR story that you go, no one's gonna believe this. But when it happens to you, it's not that no one's gonna believe it. It's like it hurts. It's like ego, like you just like, hey, I'm the best. I'm number one. I'm top this. I feel good. I feel great. Here's 11 cents. Like it's like a complete, like, I don't know.
It's a slap to the face so hard.
Right.
That like it knocked you from the day that you started. Like that's how bad it was. And I definitely feel for you on that because it's might as well should not even give me the money. 11 cents is insulting at that point.
Exactly. It's like, you know what? I would have taken a throat punch. Just give me a throat punch. The thing that I threaten people all the time is throat punches. Give me one of those instead of the 11 cents. I would have at least felt it a little longer.
I was going to say something else that you could take instead of 11 cents, but we'll keep it G. We'll keep it
it respectable.
We'll just give you Becky at this point in time, okay? Just take Becky.
Yeah, take Becky. She's amazing.
No, Becky's worth every cent of that 11 cents. Becky's worth.
I knew that's where you were going. That's good. So go ahead. Go ahead, Big Long.
No. I was going to say the same thing you were about to say.
So let's go around and then tell our stories about how, where we got from where we are and to from where we were to where we are now. And I'll start with mine, and then we'll have Mama Mel, and we'll go around the squares.
You don't want to go counterclockwise this time?
Oh, actually, we could. Let's do that.
Who started?
Go to Big Llama. We'll go next. Then Jake.
Dr. Green.
Yep. So my story, definitely, as you've heard about military people in there, started there. 16 years of human resources, but 13 years of the military. And this is from going in and out of active duty to getting called up to go work for officer candidate school. This is to going back to National Guard, from being in the reserves. And if anybody doesn't know, the reserves and National Guard are 2 different separate entities. One works for the state, one works for the federal government. It's federally paid. So anyways, all that to say that during those times, I was able to get civilian positions as well. So when I was in the National Guard, I could go and get a civilian position. And it kind of went from when I was doing stuff for clinical research that I found a knack for doing a lot more in the civilian world of kind of like compliance and making sure that regulatory requirements are met, because that's a lot of what you do in clinical research, make sure regulatory requirements are met and that all the studies are met where they need to be, et cetera. So that kind of kicked it off. And then I started teaching, and I had to teach business and human resources. And so whatever I didn't know, I learned very quickly. And, I loved it. It was a great uh, carry on towards the next few steps of my career. And after that, I ended up in manufacturing, and that was the boring part. And then after the manufacturing, a buddy of mine said, "Hey, come work for us over here at the startup." And I was like, "Sure." And so I did. And unfortunately, they had a layoff about 8 months later, and I ended up at a wonderful organization called Teleperformance. And there was where I truly got to be an HR business partner, where I got to give advice, kind of like using my degree, giving the advice, giving the knowledge that, hey, probably shouldn't do this, or we're probably going to get sued, or if you do this, we're going to get in trouble. And 99% of the time, they took my advice. So I was very, very touched by that. But then also, I was doing everything, every which way to bring comedy to HR because it was so rough. And we've said this before, HR is it's heavy. It's like you're carrying the weight of everybody else's problems, including the organizations, on your shoulders. And so I was the comic relief. I liked it. I was fine with it. But that's also what made me who I am today, because I was able to be told, go be yourself. And that's how I ended up being so successful. And then now I'm at a wonderful organization where I get to work from home. So,
Nice.
But that's my story. That's my story. I went from the military and now to a place that I feel comfortable. I can work from home, or I can work from Starbucks, whatever it is, so that I can have my pumpkin spice latte in one hand and so that's it for me, Big Llama.
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to just disclose something that
You go for it.
Dr. Green, he became something in the military that I absolutely despise, which is a drill sergeant. So if you didn't know that about me, I can't stand drill sergeants, but only because I could never be one. It's jealousy. So
I
anyway.
always forget that. That word.
Yeah. So anyway, so okay, so my story was this weird tale of comedy and comedy clubs and acting. I don't know okay how this came about, but anyway, my journey is weird because I would, if I'm gonna like categorize it, like if you were like to put it in movies, right? Because that's what I like to do, is put things like in movies perspective. Like, you are more the academic Dr. Green, the way that you got to your position and how you kind of excel. I would categorize myself as a bit of a jock, right? In terms of how I ended up in HR. I was, for almost 19 to 20 years, actually about 19 years, pretty much just an operations guy. Like, I was a manager, I was a trainer, I was a director. I did a bunch of different things, but I was really, really good at the policy, right? Like interpreting the policy, staying out of trouble. When other managers got in trouble, I could coach them. When someone had like an HR question, I could answer it, and we didn't have to go to the HR guy, right? So like, I was like the on-site HR person. So one day, this man who shall not be named, and he will never be named. His name will not come out my lips ever. He's on a special place. As you can tell, I'm a little angry about this. But anyway, this guy was getting promoted, right? So he was our HR support person. He was getting promoted, and he came up to me. He's like, "Hey, you're pretty good at this HR stuff. Want to take a crack at it?" I said, "Sure, why not? Like, I'm down for anything. I'm game." Uh, at the time, I was young and impressionable. I said, "Well, how much does it pay?" They said a little bit more than what I was making. I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Whatever. Who cares?" So I got into it by accident. I literally did. And then once I was there, I took some courses. I really sort of learned from the HR team that I was working with. And so ever since then, I kind of wanted to stay in that area. I loved the aspects of HR. I love the working with people and fixing problems. But what I loved the most was investigations. I think that's my strong suit. I absolutely loved it. It's like, I don't know, I know you guys are making faces, but like for me, investigations was the time I got to be myself and to be real, right? Because most of the time you're playing a character, acting, because you're trying to follow the company line and you're trying to make sure that you're the example. But when I was doing investigations, I was able to freestyle and I was able to talk the way I wanted to talk and be myself, ask the questions I wanted to ask. And there was such crazy outlandish shit that I would see and hear that I just kind of felt comfortable in that zone. Plus, I could definitely write a mean summary that would tear you apart. Dr. Green, you have a question, sir.
I do. Did you take them into a dark room with a lamp and shine it in their face and be like, tell me the truth? And then they would say, you can't handle the truth.
I wish there were moments like that. The honest thing is, and this is where I learned from a really good HR investigator. She taught me a lot of things. And then I realized that she was the fakest person I've ever met. Like you could never tell if she was on your side or if she was just always playing this role. And her nickname was Mufasa. No, stop pointing. Her nickname was Mufasa because everyone was afraid of her. So we would go, ooh, Mufasa, ooh, and we'd all, we'd do the same thing. And
Everything
so
that touches.
He's our kingdom. So I learned that she is just this fake person. And I was like, no, I don't want to be that. So I learned some great techniques from her, but then I did it my way. And when I did it my way, I solved 99% of my cases. And I'll even give you the secret. The secret is just be upfront and blunt about it. Stop playing the game, right? You go in there, you know what the answer is. So you say, hey, I already know the answer. Let's just have a conversation. Did you do this? Did you see this? Again, all within, context. And if I had to find out and get clues, I would do that. But anyway, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Did that for a while. Did a lot of mediations. I take pride in this one thing, and I will stop telling my story, but is that I got one of the most experienced labor attorneys in West Palm Beach, Florida, to actually lose his shit in an arbitration and call a timeout in the middle of his questioning of me. So I took it like you relish that moment. You're like, I'm getting under your skin a bit. I'm messing with you now. So, and it was this, the question that he asked was this simple: was, who made the decision to terminate XYZ? I said, that would be the operations team. And he was like, aren't you HR? I was like, absolutely, sir. Well, did you make the decision? I said, no. And it just kept going back and forth. And finally I said, I made a recommendation. And when I tell you that his head exploded, he threw papers. He said, that's it. And the arbitrator's like, why don't we just take a break? Why don't we take a break in this? And he basically left like steaming mad, sweaty. It was the greatest moment of my life because I was like, this man has like 17 degrees. He makes like $1 million an hour or whatever he was making. And here I am, lonely little HR guy. I'm pissing this guy off. It was the greatest moment of my life. Anyway, so fast forward, I'm still doing HR. I've been doing it on and off. And then I really got to say I am an HR person after my stint as a director for a hospice. So, and I've been doing HR ever since. So yeah, that's my story. And because it picked up on that, I do some acting on the side, and I do my podcast and shows and stuff. I think that's why I said comedy club on my story. So that's why. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Some of us don't judge you for loving investigations because some of us loves investigations.
Some of us hate them, like Mufasa.
I'm just saying. investigation, sometimes it's, even though it has a lot of moving pieces to it, they're so less complex than dealing with basic drama at work.
Yes.
Like, I love it. I love it. I wouldn't mind doing investigations if I ever got back to that stage.
No, you won't. You will never go back. Watch.
I mean, I need
money.
the paycheck to match the job title.
So listen, before you go to your story, I just want to say a couple things. I am very petty. I've realized this because 11 cents sticks with me. But the gentleman who I was talking about in this story, I'm going to make a shirt as well for him. And it's called I'll Take Tomatoes on the Side. Again, you know who you are if you're listening. I hate you. Anyway, go ahead.
Wait, hold on. I don't like tomatoes, so I'm right there with you.
No, so this asshole would order when we go out to lunches. He would order the tomatoes on the side. He would ask he would just I want freshly sliced tomatoes on the side. I was like, that's so weird. I picked up on that, and now I hate the man. I don't. Listen, I will take. I think I will take it to. No, not because of that.
What if he wants a pickle?
I'll give him a pickle. I'll give him a damn pickle.
Yeah, you would.
So I take you don't like fried green tomatoes, do you?
I love fried.
I love tomatoes. I just hate this guy with tomatoes. How's that?
Poopy face tomato nose.
He's his arch tomatoist.
Yeah.
Ooh, sounds like a bloody nightmare here.
Yeah. So there's a special list of people, right?
Wait, there's a list.
Hold up,
y'all. We got time, so I gotta know. You got a list?
There's a handful of people on this list. Handful. I mean, 4 or 5 tops. That if I saw you on the side of the road, I would not stop. And if you were on fire, I would not even pee on you. So it's just that there's a select list. He's one of them.
I feel like we all have that list.
Yeah.
I feel like there might be some mutual names on that list, possibly.
Quite possible. And there's only like 3 or 4 people on my list, so it's like we've
known each other for what, 10 years?
Yeah, no, my
list.
Like,
the car was on fire, I would not stop.
I would not stop.
Would not stop.
I wouldn't even call 911.
I would. I'd stop to throw a hairspray can in the fire. Throw some alcohol rub on it.
You point and laugh, huh?
Hold on.
I'd throw a hairspray bottle on the fire and go, "Oh no!
Oh gosh, aerosol can. We shouldn't have done that."
Okay, so can you guys hear me?
Yes.
So, and I promise we need to reel this in and go to the next story. But my automated device over here just picked up me talking about fire and was starting to call 911.
This one? Oh no!
I swear to God, I paused and I had to tell it to stop. I hope it didn't call.
I'm not going to say the name, but some of us doesn't like Alice.
Yeah, your husband.
Anyway,
well, I feel like my story. Yeah, I feel like mine's going to be a little bit unorthodox on how I get into HR, because mine was a revenge. Like, I was working for a very large small box retail company, and I'd been with them for over 5 years. My sweat, my blood, my dedication, everything I poured into this company, and I ended up getting fired over a particular individual who at the time of my termination claimed it was for discussing medical information, which was an EEOC violation. But on the documentation, they didn't mention anything specific about anything other than it was a company violation, company policy violation. So when it got to an EEOC phone call, they claimed that it was due to 2 employee complaints. Very vague. I won unemployment, obviously, out of that case, but because I was very immature at that time and I had not documented, or in that situation, recorded the conversation, I had absolutely no proof that they violated EEOC. And when I left there, because I left there in tears, and I don't cry very easy, I said, this will never happen to me again. And that was the day that I enrolled in college and went back and started getting my degrees and working my way up and transitioned throughout getting out of operations and getting more into like the investigations side of the business, and then slowly transitioned over into, fully HR roles. But my journey, if it wasn't for that one particular situation, I don't know if I would have ended up in HR. So at the time, it was out of spite and anger and hatred, and I wanted to arm myself. But now, after being in HR for so long, I truly love the ability to not just have that capability for myself, but to have it for other people. So that's my journey. That's my story.
No, that's pretty good, man. Because
Yeah.
that's like taking a bad situation and then making really good on it. And I think that's admirable, because I don't know that I'd have the strength to do that. I think I've taken hits like that all the time. So I don't know. But so I admire that story, man. That's good.
Yeah, it was either that or become a lawyer. And I looked at the LSATs and I said, I'd rather do math.
Meth?
You say meth or math?
I said math. I'd rather do meth than take the LSATs.
I would say that about the MCAT. I'd rather take meth than do the MCATs. Jeez. That's a medical doctor version of it.
I can't speak for Dr. Green, but just for transparency, I've never done math.
Thank you for clearing.
Wait, hold up. Well, let's clear this up too. I don't know about Big Llama, but I've never done math.
Done any what?
Meth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we're meth free. No meth here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Green be mething up all the time.
Says the guy that was, what was that word again?
Oh,
stoic.
Stonic.
Systolic, diastolic. Yes,
Listen,
we're looking.
Systolic and diastolic.
The only meth I prescribe to is the Method Man. Okay, Wu-Tang forever. All right, let's go.
Ooh.
Well, now that we have been blessed with 3 out of 4
right.
stories, let's move to the most crucial, the most important, the most inspirational, the most admirable,
the longest
fairy tale.
Mama Mel, take it away.
Well, I'm sure that you all fine, beautiful listeners have probably guessed it. I am the princess in that tale. Also, I didn't ChatGPT my story. I wrote it myself. Thank you very much.
Ouch.
Snitch.
Yeah, you know what happens to snitches, right?
Snitches get bad Wi-Fi.
I have a few choice words. I'm going to keep those to myself.
They get bad Telemundo signal, okay? So
Llama, weren't you offline for like 40 minutes last week? I think they're talking about you, my guy.
Yes, that was me. I fully accept that.
Virtual throw punch right now.
That's right. I did it myself.
Throw it down with these guys. Come on now. Don't let them talk to you like that. You're the big llama. Put some respect on your name.
Big Llama with Wi-Fi issues. And it's only been Big Llama and Mama Mel who have been having Wi-Fi issues. Last time they paid the bills or something like that?
I'm pretty sure that Llama said last week, The issues are like our flu. They've gone around to all of us.
Exactly.
Some people just
Thank
get
you
it
very
worse.
much. Oof. Oof. Okay.
All right.
All right.
After your story, Mama Mel, I got a throat punch come back, but move on. We're gonna move on to your story.
Just for the record, I'm not a fighter. I'm a lover. Anyhow. So I do not have all of these decorative stories to add to how I got into HR. I always say that you either stumble into HR or you just know that that's what you want to do. I just happened to stumble upon it. Now, I will say that prior to being in HR, I had no knowledge of what HR was, what they did. I don't know anything about FMLAs. I didn't know anything about leaves. I didn't know anything about accommodations. And I didn't know any of that. I just knew that I went to work every day and my schedule really sucked. And I wanted to be off on the weekends and enjoy my afternoons with my families. And so I saw a posting for an HR coordinator. I applied and I was hired. And I have loved HR since then. I will say that I have had the amazing privilege of working with really knowledgeable people like these three fine young gentlemen on this podcast with me that I have learned so much from and have helped shape and mold me into the HR professional that I am today. I get excited all the time thinking about where I'm going to be in 10 years, right? How much more knowledge I can gain. Like sometimes I'll have conversations with you guys or with my peers, and the way that we think, the questions that we think to ask, all intrigue me because I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. Okay, I need to jot that down. Make sure that next time we have a conversation like this, I'm thinking like that too. So, although I am the least experienced, I think, from the four of us, it's not my crutch. Um, so, is that the right analogy?
Yeah.
I use it as a tool, not as a crutch, right? Yeah.
Are you trying to throw
So,
shade somewhere, or?
oh my gosh, not at all. I'm not a shady person like that.
So I have a question, Mama Mel.
Yeah.
How long were you in HR before someone wise once said way too many times, we don't work banker hours in HR?
Oh, I don't know.
How long was it before you figured that out?
I don't know. I just take what people say and I assume positive intent. And so it doesn't, if you're meaning to shade me, not catching your rift or your drift.
No, it was a legitimate question. How long were you in HR before you realized we don't get to work 8 to 5s at every company?
Oh yeah, your
I
schedule.
don't know.
You are on call. You are salaried. You are a highly compensated individual.
That's right. Speak the
Bring
truth.
the buzzwords. Bring the buzzwords. I don't know. I was hourly for a very large part of my career, so I was working 8 to 5, baby.
I don't think I've not been hourly since 2008.
Jeez.
That's when I started my HR career.
Oh, geez. 2007 was when I graduated high school.
I don't want to even tell you when I graduated high school. There's a 1 and a 9 when it starts.
In the 1900s?
In the
Back in
1900s.
1954.
I will say,
Wasn't there a presidential assassination at that time?
Wasn't the Hindenburg still up and running at that point?
as the elder statesman of this group, I was born in the 1900s. I graduated high school in the 1900s.
The late 1900s, sir. Like get it right, because we're not that far apart.
Although my birth certificate, and this is a point of contention with my family, my birth certificate says, so I don't care. You guys know my birth year. I was born in 1978. Thank you for those of you who are ancient. But my birth certificate says 1968. the doctor put a 6 instead of a 7.
So you never got that corrected?
I did once I got here to the States. It's been updated, corrected, but my wife will throw my age out there and say, "You are old," and I said, "No, I'm not that old." And she was like, "Yeah, you're 56 years old." I said, "Thanks a lot." It's not.
Hey, collect that Social Security early.
I wish I could. I wish I could collect the Social Security early, but yeah, no. So yeah, the error in my birth certificate is a point of contention. And then I get jokes like, "Oh, you were 20 years old in 5th grade." I'm like, "How can I be 20 years old in 5th grade? Like, that's stupid. It's really stupid."
It's possible. I've seen it.
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison.
Yeah, I was Billy Madison is what it was.
So
He's the real life. That's where Adam stole it from.
So we keep joking about the term throat punch, and I heard a joke on YouTube the other day, or TikTok. I think it was TikTok, and it really made me think. It said, guys have the Adam's apple. What if it's because Adam actually ate the apple and lied on Eve,
Oh,
and now it's stuck in her throat?
that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep religious discussion there.
I heard that, and I was like, "Oh, that's good."
It makes you think. It makes you stop and think.
That'd be a good punishment. You ate the apple and lied on Eve. Now it's going to be in your throat for the rest of your life.
Dang. That's crazy.
I had to squirrel because we keep talking about throat punching.
Yeah, and it's a term of endearment.
Throat punching is you and Big Llama over there.
It's a term of endearment. It's not. We're not talking about real throat punching. It's virtual throat punches.
We don't condone violence.
No,
it's all.
Yeah, we don't condone violence.
We are only emotional throat punching people, never physically. Okay,
right.
We are simply trying to be gorillas.
Yeah, you are
800-pound gorillas.
And if you want the throat punch T-shirt, it will be available soon.
I keep saying it's about this merch, and I keep going merch, but there's no merch.
Hey, there's only so many hours in the day. Let me. Well, go ahead.
I was gonna say we really need to think about that T-shirt because there's like a few different ways that I can think about. I'm not priceless. I'm worth 11 cents. On the shirt. I'm sorry, squirrel.
But one for him could be, is it, I'm not stoic. I mean stoic.
Never gonna live that one down.
Hey, don't be mething up, okay?
Exactly, meth head. Hey, he can prescribe. He's a doctor.
Not like that. Nope.
Hey, look, I'm devious now. Don't make me open a credit. I'm going to open a credit card up in your name. I'm going to charge hotels, flowers. I'm going to charge everything to it, and then I'm going to change the billing address to your house when I know you're out of town, so your wife gets it. She's going to see a credit card with all these charges. Don't mess with me. I'm devious.
I'll just blame, and I'll say, "Oh, you remember that guy, Jake from HR? Yeah, he's in jail, and so he just got out, and he thought his new life of crime was steal identities, credit cards."
Well, just say, listen to episode 7 of the podcast. He'll tell you what happened there.
Yeah, he'll tell you what happened.
Yeah.
All right, let's reel it in and let's reel it in and go around the horn to close out our episode tonight. So I have a question for each of you, and then you guys can answer. We start with whoever wants to answer first. So if you could do this all over again, would you do the HR role? Like, would you step back into, and what would you change on the journey along the way? If you can do it all over again, time machine.
Okay, I want to go first.
Go for it, man.
Because I think about this and it haunts me. I would absolutely do this again because I have found true joy and pleasure in helping people, whatever that help looks like. Great. I also enjoy the excitement that I see on our employees' faces when their issues get resolved or they get something like, it could be something as simple as an extra break. accommodation, right? But what I would do different is I would have finished my educational background, because in the words of my father, that little paper is worth stuff. I think he means money. So I would have continued my education and probably gotten my MBA and just backed myself up with that. Although I know I have experience, that's definitely something I would have changed. And I also would have told my younger self to take a chill pill, and not everybody's out to get you, and you need to be a little more kind.
You are kind, Mel. What are you
I
talking
am
about?
I am kind now, but it's not come with 15 years of tripping and
I
falling
see.
and picking myself back up.
Well, it's never too late to go back to school. So don't ever think that it's too late. I have met several older, not anybody who was born in the 1960s or 70s, but people. I met a 73-year-old who graduated from an IT program. So when you say you can't, that's bull. And I'll wrap that to me, and I'll tell you this. If I could go back in time, I probably would not be in HR. My biggest dream, but it took me so long to realize it before, it was just too late at that point. I wanted to be a surgeon. I really wanted to, but of course, even if you have the military help pay for it, it's still expensive. Med school was expensive back in the 90s and the 2000s, and it's expensive now. And when you grow up poor, you don't get that ability, and so you have to work hard, and so you go get a PhD instead. But yeah, I would have gone back to neurosurgery, was where I would have been, just because I love the brain and psychology and all that stuff. So that's kind of how I ended up with a PhD. But that would be my dream. That would be my hope, wish, dream, all that good stuff. But I'd probably still end up in HR anyways, just because I love messing with people. I just love it.
Hey, I know you like messing with people.
You know what? I hope your story's stoic too.
Meth and Becky. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jake.
So when you initially asked that question, I've actually thought about it a few times as well, like Mama Mel. And initially, my response was, yeah, I would go back, because I've always wanted to get into psychology, specifically clinical psychology. And I truly love what I do, and the journeys that I've taken throughout my career changes have landed me in positions within my life where I've ended up with my 3 amazing kids that I adopted. So if I would have taken a different journey, the chances of that happening would have been slim to none. So I don't regret the career path I've taken. Part of me wants to say I wish I would have taken it sooner, but then I would not have had the mentors that I had early on in my career that helped develop me into the HR world and give me the opportunities that no one else would have given me, that got me to where I am today. So in an alternate reality, I'd love to see what that looks like, but in reality, I wouldn't change a thing.
That's a good point. Good point. That's crazy. But when I asked the question, it's stop. When I asked the question, it's something that I have thought about now in my older age. Not that I'm close to retirement or anything. I'm not even damn near. I mean, I'll be working till I'm 78, 90 years old. But anyway, I just think about the life choices. Oh my God. You and your microphone, it's so loud. Anyway,
Who's
yours is really loud. Anyway, I just muted you. I'm sorry. But No, not on purpose. It's something's going on over there. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, I think about like how I arrived here. I think about how I arrived here at this place, and and not that I would. God, you guys suck. I'm trying to have a moment here. I'm trying to have a moment on the podcast, and you two jackasses over here laughing, making soda noises. All right, Alabama.
Soda. Wait, hold on. What's a soda noise?
I don't know. You have like a soda or something in your hand over there. I don't know. Maybe your pumpkin spice latte.
No, hey,
All right.
they
Hey,
only come
hey.
out once a year.
Show Big Llama that respect before he back kicks you.
Exactly. I'm gonna reach across the screen and grab you there. Anyway.
All right.
No. Okay. So, I think of this is that I didn't arrive here in the traditional way, and I wish I would have had some things that would have helped me excel a little bit faster, right? Because I have struggled for a long time, and when you're in HR, you get kind of the keys to the kingdom, right? You get to see all the dirty parts of a job, right? How much people make, um, you know, how much salaries go up and down, bonuses, firings, hirings, policy, all this stuff where you have this image of your company, right? Or the people you work with or you work for, and you go, man, this is a great place. I love this place. And then when you get to HR, it's almost like the magic is gone, right? And that's why I love it and I hate it, right? I love what I do because I get to be part of someone who can shape and change things for organizations. But I hated the fact that the sort of the curtain was pulled back and I got to see everything backstage. So that's the one thing I kind of felt like I wanted to see this earlier, so I didn't put so much of my hopes, dreams, in my. I was very impressionable. I thought this was where I was doing. I'm going to be the greatest at this position, whatever. And then turns out sometimes you're just a number, and it's not what you think. And so I kind of felt like everything I did up to that point was a bit of a lie, right? Not a lie, but it was like it wasn't what I thought it was. So anyway, I that's kind of why if I could go back, I would just try to go to HR a little bit sooner. If I'm being like at all honest, I wouldn't even be in the corporate world if I could help it. The things that I'm doing now in my senior years, my veteran years now, is the things I wanted to do when I was young. So, Dr. Green is back. Hold on. There we go. So, like doing the podcast, doing the things I do on YouTube, doing like little acting shows and things that I do for charity. It's like that's what I wanted to be a theater kid. I wanted to be a theater kid, but like my parents were like very traditional in the sense of like that doesn't make money, you can't do it. So again, I ended up in business. I excel at it. I'm great. Thank you. I loved it, but at what cost, right? I don't get to do the things that I love. So I asked the question because I always think about it. I always think about, would I do this over again? No. Again, but not because it's HR. It's because my hopes and dreams are outside of this world. But now that I'm in the world, I'm like, look, I wish I just could have done it sooner. Saw the things, but because I put so much heartache into what I did for a living, I had so much anxiety, so much. I think Mama Mel, you kind of touched on it, right? It's like you're just kind of like you're a little less kind about things, right? And you start to learn. So again, I just wish I would have been able to be a little bit more of what I am today back then, and I probably would have been a happier person. But hey, I'm happy that I get to share my knowledge with people, right, about HR on this podcast and in my work today. So it's kind of been a great journey. But we all would love a time machine. I know that for sure.
Of course. But isn't that the beauty of I'm gonna get real deep in thought here, but isn't that the beauty of life? You learn and you accumulate these lessons throughout your years, and then you can impart it on your kids, your mentees, um, the younger kids that you see work, because now I'm the adult in my workplace, and I see the younger kids coming in, and I'm like, I was their age at some point, and I remember the older people giving me all these pieces of advice, and I'm like, you have no idea what it's like to live in my shoes. You have no idea what it's like to be my age anymore. Like you were like twice my age. And now I'm like, just listen to what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you this because I don't know. I'm telling you this because I want you to do better. A, that frustrates me, but B, it also makes me appreciate everybody that's come along the way in my journey and taught me these things. But to go back to your point, Lama, that's the beauty of life in itself. That's the essence of what life is supposed to teach us professionally and in our personal lives too. So although it is bittersweet, for me, it's more sweet than it is bitter.
Yeah. And I'll close on the old man talk only because somebody wrote this on one of my posts, and it was funny and it was real. It took me having a midlife crisis to create my YouTube channel and to do the things that I'm doing now. And I thank God for that midlife crisis, which is I was just trying to figure out what makes me happy. And it wasn't a sports car and it wasn't doing stupid shit. It was just pursuing the childhood dream that I had, which is I want to entertain. I want to do these types of things. And again, am I anywhere near an entertainer like of a level that should be in Hollywood? Absolutely not. I'm realistic, but at least I get to try and do the things I want to do. And so I'm always thankful. Oh, the National Council on Aging. Shut up, Dr. Green. But no, I'm always thankful that I had that moment. And I shout out to Mama Llama, who's who my wife. She kind of just said, "Hey, go for it." Here's I said, "Hey, can I buy a camera? Can I buy some lights? Can I do the stupid YouTube thing?" And she said, "Yeah, do it. Go for it." And then she helped me set up my studio. She helped. So like I had the support finally that I never had, and it was like, damn, this feels good. And so now when we do this podcast or we do anything, I feel so good about helping others and doing this and talking to people. So
shout out Mama Llama.
I have to every any chance I get, for sure, because I'm going to forget at my Oscar acceptance speech. I'm sure of it.
Take notes, gentlemen.
She's not a llama. She's a lioness.
Hey. Never in your life do that again.
Yeah, Dr. Green, never. That was. I think we need to send you to training, sir. Is that
there's a preventing harassment training that I'm happy to put you through.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, you would be happy for it. Yeah.
All right. So Jake, you got any final words before you take us out today?
No final words. The only thing I would say for those people who are thinking about getting into HR is I tell people all the time, the reason why I love HR is HR can do anything, but anything cannot do HR. So take my words of wisdom. And that brings us to the end of our show today. So until we call you into the office, remember, hate has no home here.
None. Zero of it. Zero. All right. This has been another episode. Take it easy. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's another episode of the Four Friends Trying to Figure Out HR. We didn't solve anything, but hey, at least we tried.
And by tried, we mean we laughed, we overshared, and we probably violated some HR guidelines ourselves.
But remember, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Don't take our advice. Seriously, don't.
And if your HR manager asks, you've never heard of us or this podcast.
Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, and join us the next time as we keep trying to figure out HR and fail spectacularly.
Now, go be productive, or at least pretend to be.
Until your boss said, I said hi.
Tell your mom I said hello.
Tell your daddy I said hey.
And remember, hate has no home here.
Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week again for a fresh round.